Tangonauts, woohoo! The happy podcast for people who love Randonautica. Come together, yeah, please give us a share. Hey, and welcome to the Tangonauts podcast with me, Vicky Duncalf, based in Anglesey North Wales, and
le Monsieur All and I, based in the south of France, Bordeaux.
He is not Al in I, he is all in I, as can be seen by your lovely little cryptic shadow symbol, which is your logo. It's meant to be an eye, isn't it?
It is. It came really naturally when I was starting off. I started off on TikTok and I had this shadow in front of me. I just put my hands on my head and it's like an eye. Great. It fit the name that I had chosen previously.
Excellent. Now, we are going to be discussing your eye logo soon because something incredible and very otherworldly happened with your eye logo last week, and I think pretty much manipulated by Rando.
It did. I can't wait to get to that topic.
I am definitely going to give you the award for the most active randonaut. You are out day and night randoing, and you're probably the most prolific filmmaker, the most prolific randonaut, and I do a lot as well. I mean, there's scarcely a day goes by when I don't drop multiple pins. And in the end, we've just had so many amazing finds lately. As we seem to get to be able to work with the app and manifest better, the finds get more intricate, more highbrow, more incredible, and we're just spoilt for choice with what to tell you.
Yes, exactly. Just everything seems to increase, and when even when it seems to get to the very lowest point, like, oh, okay, something's got to pop up, and it just works. It just works every time.
Because we've both come to the conclusion that Rando never makes mistakes, and your first impressions of what Rando tells you are always correct. Why is that, le monsieur?
Rando will know which way you'll go. It can show you, as we were mentioning in the previous podcast, it can show you three different things, but it will know which way, which streets you're going to get through to get to one of those points. And the streets count as much as the point. Everything counts as soon as you start getting on your way and doing the things. So it can't make mistakes, and whatever you will see there, the first impression you'll get is boom, that's it.
Yeah, there's there's just never any room for interpreting several different versions of what Rando is trying to show you. You know it instantly because Rando really is this good, and it's not a party trick. Let us just carry on, and we're very powerful advocates of safe randonauting. We pushed Rando to its limits a couple of about a month ago now, maybe 3 weeks, with our bird day intent, and we got multiple messages from Rando to slow down, wind your neck in, kids, and take it step by step. So handle with care, but learn how it works and you start using it to your advantage like we have been.
And it works. We have been trying so many different things, and as you said, it is way more than a party trick. If that's your thing, if you want to just call Rando, you can, but it is way more. It's way more. It's like having a huge computer and you're just using Word, you know.
Oh yeah, that's what I do. I'm looking at my Mac right now, Word and a little bit of iMovie and Facebook, and that is it. But to be fair, I did buy it for DJing when I was putting 2 records on at once, so that is my excuse. But so a little bit of history about us if you're just joining the podcast for the first time. We met online probably about a month ago. We've just exchanged our 1000th message. We've become very, very, very good friends over the 1,000-mile distance between us. We're pretty much, our lives have synchronized so much that coincidences that are maybe once a year or once every couple of years are every single day now. And we're just becoming blasé about the amount of weird and wonderful stuff in our daily life.
Yes, because it just happens every day. Like some things are so yes, as you said, things that happen once a year, they happen like every day, and things that will happen to one person once a year will happen to us at the same
Precisely
time.
the same time. Like we both had some great bits of not bad news, no, great bits of good. Sorry, Freudian slip there. We had great bits of good news on at the same instant, 1,000 miles apart, and so just too many amazing things to mention. But we're trying to give you a little insight now into the life of the Tangonauts, possibly the world's most active randonauts. We're not sure. Feel free to contest that issue. And what we were trying to convey is that now some of us, now we all love a bit of dopamine. It keeps us alive. Dopamine is an important chemical messenger in the brain that has many functions. I'm reading this from healthline.com. It's involved in reward, motivation, memory, attention, and even regulating body movements. When dopamine is released in large amounts, it creates feelings of pleasure and reward, which motivates you to repeat a specific behavior. Now, some of us have perhaps experimented a little bit more with dopamine rewards more than others. Is that fair to say, Le Monsieur?
I think it's very fair to say. I think it is, and all that list of things to increase your dopamine levels, that's cute, but just go randonauting. That will really, really do the trick. I mean,
Yeah,
some of us have, yes, done a lot of randonauting, and plus, if you depending on how you travel there, walking is great. It's great for everything in your body. I mean, physically, on your health, it's cardio, stuff like that. We tend to bike all over the place. So when you're doing sport, there's not only dopamine, but there's endorphins. I speak French all the time, so I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But it's a chemical your brain releases, and it makes you feel all goody goody.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think every episode we need to just have you saying a couple of words in French. Off you go.
Okay. I'll just say basically the same thing in French. Bon, en fait, quand tu te balades, quand tu fais du vélo, quand tu fais du sport, t'as de la dopamine qui te sort du cerveau, quoi. C'est bon pour ce que t'as, et t'as des endorphines aussi qui sont sécrétées. Et ça te fait sentir très, très bien.
Oh, that is nice. That is so good. That's so good. I could smell I was going to say the French perfume from here, but yeah, I just have lovely images of France, and it's such a beautiful, romantic country.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah, great place to be randoing, and I rando by the sea. So we are talking now about how, I mean, me and you, I mean, most people have had their fair challenges in life, and due to various reasons, let's put it this way, increasing my dopamine has been a huge priority with myself lately. And I'm just looking at some of the ways here that you can naturally increase your dopamine. Eat lots of protein, eat less saturated fat, consume probiotics, eat velvet beans. What the hell are they?
Velvet beans. They're. I think Prince came up with them. They were purple velvet.
I know the ones you mean. Those little purple beans that play the guitar. So
yes,
they contain.
That's the best I can come up with. I have no idea what those beans are really.
They contain high levels of L-Dopa, the precursor molecule to dopamine. Now, unless you enjoy the smell, other people enjoy the smell of your own farts. That is not a to increase your dopamine. Exercise often. There we go. Get enough sleep. Listen to music. Meditate. Get enough sunlight. These are all incredible ways to increase your dopamine. But what is, for me, by far the best way?
It's just to go rando, and while you're at it, if you go rando, you get the sunshine, you get out, you'll do exercise, so you get a good sleep. You can eat beans while you're randonauting if you want. I mean, well, you can. Randonauting is like the best thing you can go out and do. It's the best app. It's like free, which keeps blowing our minds that it's
free hobby. I have actually saved money this past couple of months since randonauting because I am not going anywhere but randonauting.
So have I. Yeah. I don't go out to places anymore. I just go out and discover and rediscover streets that I'm on all the time. When I get a point somewhere in the street that I've went through 1,000 times, I'll be like, okay, I'm here. So I'll be looking at every crack in the wall, every lizard, every corner street, and just the flower pots. Oh, I never noticed that particular flower pot. Now I see more of the world.
So
Lovely.
So Randonautica turns your right now. I live in a remote seaside resort, and I've lived here on and off for a while. I've tried to escape a couple of times, and I've ended up just coming back. And the winters are very long and tough, and I practically live in a field. And the amount of hours I've just spent outside on my own, mournfully in a field or by the sea, just feeling and hopeless. And this feeling must be common across humanity. So what we love about Rando is that even though you're on this tiny little mission, going to look for something utterly trite, such as crappy frogs, it gives you this incredible sense of purpose. You're using your navigation skills, you're outside, but what we're tending to find is that the dopamine that comes from every delightful find, for me, is by far the purest, biggest dopamine hit of anything I've ever had in my life ever. It's like this surge of universal knowledge and delight and joy just coming through you, and it can take all day to come down off it. Yeah,
It can, and depending on varies from person to person, obviously. But it sometimes when you get to that find, it's like you're like dumb for words, and just thinking about it. It worked again, and every time it's surprising. It's like it's surprising every time it works. You get kind of that same like the initial your first find. It's like the first find every time because it's unique every time, and every time you're like, wow, this app works. It just really does work. How does it work? It's really surprising.
Wow. And that thing about your first find, as we've evolved along with the app, and we like to think it's getting to know us a little bit. I mean, is this possible? This kind of neutral power, is it possible that it's getting to know us and even like us? I really don't know, but it seems to be that as we immerse ourselves deeper in practically randonauting 24/7, which is actually something we've been doing, the language that it is speaking to us in is it's beginning to speak in sentences to us.
Mm. It can do that. You can get messages on the wall that relate something that someone will have written 2 weeks ago on a wall. It just goes through there. You're randonauting, you stumble upon that, and it just makes perfect sense.
I mean, we found yesterday, or you found. We had been talking about a method of law of attraction mentioned by Abraham Hicks, which is something called a focus wheel. And we have been talking about how the wheel, the 360-degree revolution of a wheel, isn't quite correct. And you said, well, actually, if you're trying to refocus your thoughts to think in an opposite direction, it's a 180-degree, and it's more like, and then I said it's more like a spiral. What did you find next?
Oh yes, I have to backstory just what you said to add my side of it because you said it perfectly, and now I can compliment it. Yeah, that whole thing, just for people to know, so they can follow the story perfectly, is when you get like revolutionary people who want to change the system, and they're saying, "Yeah, we want to do a revolution, the revolution," and it's like, no, guys, if you do a revolution is when the Earth goes 360 days around the sun and ends up exactly at the same place it was just when you started the year. It just means restart, and the same thing goes on again. Evolution means change. It doesn't mean good. It doesn't mean bad. It just means change. So you don't do a revolution, you do an evolution. And on that part, you were talking about the 360 degree. which I took it out. Well, yeah, that's fine, but that means just doing a turn on yourself and facing the same direction. It doesn't change anything. If you do a U-turn, if you do a 180 degree, you're facing the opposite direction. You're like a salmon swimming against the current, hopefully avoiding bears. But the point is, you're doing something different. So we're thinking that, and you were talking about that spiral that goes up, that upward spiral, contrary to Tool, I think, who did the album The Downward Spiral, but the upward spiral. And I stumble upon a door written 180. So I'm thinking, hey, that's what we were talking about. And it was right next to a spiraling up yellow set of stairs. So that image was just perfect. It was just a perfect illustration. And I was randonauting at that point.
Yeah, so you sent me the video. Sorry, there's a slight delay here, and I apologize if I cut over you, but you sent me the video, and all I saw on the video was the number 180 on the thumbnail. That was enough for me. So I clicked play on the video, and you went, hey, Vic, check this out. And it was 180, and then you pulled back, and this magnificent spiral staircase rising up out of the front of the apartment block. Randonautica helps me release more pure dopamine than I ever have in my life. And it's just given me so much pleasure, so much joy over the past couple of months. I've not found anything comparable. And to be fair, I mean, I don't drink anyway. I'm doing an alcohol-free challenge. I used to have the occasional cigarette. I don't have the need for that, nor anything else that would help me release dopamine. I'm basically living like a nun at the minute because all I need is Rando. Now, the Monsieur, I said maybe it's the best dopamine rush ever. Now, you, on the other hand, have done some very adventurous sports. Tell us what you've done.
Oh, I have been in sport for my whole life. In fact, always climbing stuff, always climbing stuff. I started roller skating when I was 10, and I'm 38 now. So I've been basically rollerblading just about every day for 28 years, except when I was working at the mountainside where I was snowboarding. So that's for that. I have always been into sports, just the climbing, dancing on stage. I've done that on stage dancing. I was in sport. If you think about sport, performing on stage is a sport too. And I was the lead singer in a metal band for 6 years. And yes.
That. Oh my God! What was your band called?
I'll keep that for another show.
Oh, I had no idea that you were the lead singer in a metal band. That is a crazy thing to find out.
I'm full of surprises.
That's a massive. That is a massive surprise. What was your hair like back then? How was your metal hair?
Oh, I had my long dreadlocks.
Cool.
Because at that time when we started in the band, I think I was like 19, and I had this back image of Zach de la Rocca from Rage Against the Machine. I didn't know that band, but I had seen it once or twice, and I was thinking, yeah, that's cool. Although I had wanted dreadlocks for a long time, and now they're gone because they broke, and I had them for 11 years. But I was doing that hairstyle, and then eventually later I grew my own real dreadlocks.
That's pretty cool, right? We need to dig more on the band. Randonautica, we can find out anything about Monsieur's true identity and find out what band he was in, and then show me a YouTube of that video. I'd be a very happy girl. Rando, show me videos. So one of the things that we likened it to is that when you are making your find, it turns every second that you are immersed in the Rando bubble into a parallel universe of wonder, and you might be there on the street marveling at, now your example was you're marveling the hell out of some crappy frogs, and people passing by don't have a clue that you are immersed in what appears to be some weird sci-fi adventure.
That's a great way of putting it, because like for everybody, if they can kind of like put themselves into that situation, you're on the street, you find a crappy frog, you say to a bystander, just someone walking by, you just want to share that find. You're so ecstatic that dopamine is in your mind, it's rushing through your system, and you want to say, hey, look, I found a crappy frog. He has no idea what you're talking about. He has no idea why you're so excited to have found a crappy frog, and he has no idea why the F you would want to tell him. But it's just like you have to share it with someone. It's so exciting because little does he know, you've been biking or walking, or for a lot of people driving for miles and miles, following an app, not knowing if you're going to find that. You intended crappy frog from a very remote distance. When you get to that point, you find it. It's just incredible. You're just on a rush. You're like a kid at Christmas that just never expected to have a Christmas, and all of a sudden,
that's a lovely way of putting it.
Yeah, imagine like if Tom Sawyer, not Tom Sawyer, that guy with the chimney choo choo, who used to
Van Dyke.
Oliver Twist. I'm thinking about Oliver Twist.
Getting your musicals muddled there, mate.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, Oliver Twist was a guy who wanted more porridge. But long story short, and well, he was proper poor. He would never have had a Christmas, and all of a sudden, he's in Willy Wonka Christmas factory, and he has it all for him. It's just that level of good.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, basically, you're Oliver Twist in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory with Dick Van Dyke singing Chimney. It'd be like the supergroup musical. That's what it feels like, though. Like all of your favorite things all rushing at once.
Definitely. Oh, we should really do Randonautica, the musical, coming soon to Broadway.
Well, we already do that because we made songs. Here's one now. Sometimes you may have to lie about a parrot to see what's in a garden. What the fuck? Now, I've started to actually keep a notepad by the side of my bed because it turns out, the Monsieur, that I'm going to say it's 5-6 weeks since we've been chatting, we've exchanged on WhatsApp alone over 1,000 messages.
Oh, a minimum. Oh, minimum. Yeah.
On the phone, podcasts, videos, voice messages are our preferred way of speaking to each other. But yeah, we miss a lot of stuff. We have ideas, and then it's like a train going past, and famous people in the window go. This is a terrible analogy. There's famous people in the window of every train, and in the window, and everyone's rushing past, and there's so and so, there's so and so, there's so and so. And suddenly the train is gone. And if you have not written them ideas down in your train spotter's notepad, if you've not written your celebs down in the train spotter's notebook, no one will believe you. Baby. Oh, yeah. Baby. Oh, yeah. Now the stars have gone on the midnight train. So you gotta take a notepad out. 'Cause if you don't, they will evade your brain and lead to a creativity drought. Where have all my ideas gone in the night? Maybe they go to where all the duvet trumps go. I don't know. That's the worst analogy I've ever come up with. However, I've started to keep a notepad by my bed to write down ideas. It's the very long way of me trying to say that we've been coming up with some good stuff. And the last one that you said was Randonautica is like being in sci-fi. Now, I know nothing about sci-fi. If it's not Ghostbusters or One-Eyed Willy related, I don't know.
Well, it's Well, it's funny you talk about One-Eyed Willie because all of a sudden I'm thinking about Jason Brolin, who was Cable, and Cable was a time traveler. And obviously he was also Thanos, who did that thing with time too. So it fits with Randonautica because, as Joshua Langford has said, he tweeted like discreetly. By the way, it's kind of like a time travel. It's about time travel, and it kind of went unnoticed, but not to everybody. I was like, "Oh, dude, okay, wait. You just said it's time travel. Did you think nobody's going to notice that?" And it does feel like that sci-fi element. It does feel like, yeah, you're all of a sudden everything is different. You get your find and you can just look around. It does really feel like you're in another universe. I have just a little snippet, just a little bit of the adventure of yesterday. My second intent for the night rando was a pumpkin. Just a pumpkin. I had no idea. Sometimes the intents are so difficult to come up with. I just thought, well, yeah, I'll just go with a pumpkin.
Oh, can I just stop you? Can I just stop you? It turns out there's random word generators on the internet.
Oh, yeah, that could be cool. Yeah, I will try that. Okay, so I'll try that next time. But so far, I went for a pumpkin. It leads me to a place that's really orange. It was the whole walls were orange and everything. I'm thinking, oh, okay, that's good enough. That's fine. But my next intent, what I wanted to do was something out of worldly, an extra dimensional being, a UFO, extraterrestrials, alien. I wanted something like that. And I stumbled upon some dustbins that had written on them 1SG. So it instantaneously, I'm thinking SG1, Stargate. Okay, Rando, you've done it again.
That's cool. I did not know that. That's cool. That's so good. Yeah, 1SG was the knockoff series.
Yeah. They had a cardboard Stargate. Yeah. So and so anytime with the sci-fi thing, the sci-fi elements to it are like really, you can really feel like you're whatever you intend for. And in any ways, there is a spiritual component to Rando because you're traveling, you're intending, and oftentimes what we do is not speak out. We don't verbalize the intent as we press generate. That's something people need to know, I think.
Yeah, because I say it out loud because I'm part of me still a bit cynical, but maybe I should try just thinking it.
I do 90% of the time I just think it because I don't want it to. I want to take out that part where it could be, let's say, Google interfering and just interfering with something somehow. I'm thinking like, okay, they can't read our thoughts yet, so let's just think it and see where it goes, and it works just the same.
Oh wow! So yeah, so you were out on a bit of they call it a bust in America, where you kind of don't find much.
Yes.
With that, but it's a good one. You were out working really hard yesterday for 2 hours and pulling back very little, and you were dejected. Is that right? You lost all hope of living and gave up. And
exactly, I can tell that story in really 2 minutes flat. Okay, I go out yesterday. I had asked you for an intent. I had no idea. I just needed to rando. I just needed my randings.
Without being able to jump off the side of a building or go down a black run on your snowboard, you just had to rando.
I just had to get on that bike and flex those flat muscles I have and just go out there. And so I'm doing that. You say panda. So I'm talking, well, okay, let's go look for a panda because why not? I'm in the south of France, 60 miles from the seaside. Yeah, a panda. Easy.
There's a really bad panda problem in Bordeaux.
Oh yes, yeah. They're clogging up the tramways. They're everywhere in the restaurants lines. You can't get a seat. They're in all the cinemas and that the theatre. They just eat bamboo with their mouth open. You can't focus on the play. So
Noisy.
very noisy, and they're so loud with their mobile phones on public transportation. I hate that. But the thing is, I go out to look for a panda. I see maybe a Fiat Panda, that type of brand of cars. I'm thinking, nah, not much. I ask a guy, I say, hey, is that a Fiat Panda? He says, I don't know. So we're both like, okay. Second thing, the pumpkin. I go and look, orange buildings, the edgy one. I'm like, okay, that's good. Not much. And then I wanted to intend a giant. So I'm thinking, oh, a giant. Immediately, I have the image of a like 8 foot tall, red-haired, double layers of teeth Nephilim that's gonna leap out and try to devour me. So I'm thinking, no, that's not cool. That's not cool. I don't want that. I'm thinking, I don't want a friendly giant. I have BFG coming second place. I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe we can go whiz popping together. So
what an adventure that'd be.
that would be just marvelous. So I'm thinking about that. I bike and I bike and I bike. I covered over 10 miles, 16 kilometers, something around that. I cover that. I just go. I see a big monkey head, but I had seen it before, and it was like an aggressive monkey head. So no, not good. I'm circling and I'm following the GPS directions that she's telling me. At one point, I could have there was left or right. GPS says go left. I follow the GPS, and I must have traveled for over a mile to get to like maybe 200 meters that I could have been on the right. But because it was a one-way street, the GPS, when you're biking, it follows the rules, it follows the indication, and it just says, yes, you need to go this way because that's the way the cars will drive. But when you're biking, you can just go anywhere. You don't have to follow that. So I was really getting frustrated from doing that whole mile to be somewhere that on a place that there were no giants, that there was nothing giant. I saw logs, white painted logs that looked like big teeth, but it wasn't good. It was not. There was not that spark. I didn't get the dopamine hit of a real cool find. So what I do next is I cycle back. I'm thinking, okay, well, this looks like a miss. It looks like a dud, even though we don't believe in those anymore. It felt like it. But Rando doesn't make mistakes. I go back, I'm cycling back, and at some point I'm just thinking, not much. I'm riding, and I think, why not take this street? So I go into this street, and then I go right, and then maybe left, right, and I just stop at some point, and on my left, I see a graffiti, little tag, not much. Must have been like just really not big. I look at it and I see a face with a crown and written underneath it, Fatum.
Fatum is a very important word in the world of Randonautica. Are you ready to hear? So the Fatum, now I could be wrong here, it was like the original Randonautica project, and I've got the blurb here off GitHub. The Fatum project was born as an attempt to research unknown spaces outside predetermined probability tunnels of the holistic world, and has become a fully functional reality tunnel creating machine that digs rabbit holes to Wonderland. We are utilizing the Fatum project's quantum random location generator telegram bot to generate random coordinates to travel the multiverse. That's what we're doing, kids.
I'm such a bored bunny rabbit.
Hey, little rabbits, bored of your burrow. Same tunnels every day. Following time's arrow. Then dig a new hole with the Fatum Project, created to remedy the malady of bored bunnies like you by helping you dig fantastic new tunnels to Wonderland.
I'm not a bored bunny anymore. Wonderland is cool. Me and the Cheshire Cat are heading out to Rando. Woohoo!
Okay, I am flabbergasted once again because I did not know fully the definition of Fatum.
So you pedalled around a lot, you went a very long way, and just when you were giving up, you spotted Fatum with a little face with a crown scrawled on the wall. And to me, because I think you were tired and didn't know, but I was like, to me, that was Rando kind of showing you who's boss, showing you that it's the giant.
Yes, that makes sense.
And then when you get to that message at the end, to be honest, I just can't imagine many people Rando as much as you do. And to me, it was just a bit of a Fatum is all. You have leveled up. You are leveling up with Rando.
That's pretty. Thank you. I'm humbled, by thy words. I'm going out there, doing the legwork. It's so cool. It's such a cool thing to do. If we have time, I could really, really briefly tell you about this morning's Rando. That I have like so much footage in just 2 hours of cycling, 3 points.
We're going to talk now about our best finds of the week. And mine, well, I rang you crying. That's how good mine was.
Yes, I remember that day.
Yeah, it was so clever. So who was it who suggested cold? Was it you?
Yes, because it was hot.
It was hot. Remember those days? Remember those?
Yeah.
Well, you're in south of France, so it's pretty much hot all year. But the weather's changed here now. We've had a heat wave last week, a mid-September heat wave. Wonderful. I've got a great tan. So yeah, you suggested cold, and it dragged me. It didn't drag me. Randonautica never drags you out. It's not like a dog that needs walking, although it feels like that. It's like a really good dog that needs walking.
Yeah, so, we would be the dogs in that image.
Yeah, are we walking the dog, or is the dog walking us? I think I know which way round that is. So it took me to the middle of quite a remote meadow around here, and I thought I'm going to find a broken fridge or a wrapper for a freezer meal, something like that, maybe an ice cube tray. And I'm looking around in the hedgerow. I was sweating. It's a very hot day. 4 girls walked past me, and I'm going to say these girls are 17. And in fact, just let me get the details up here on the internet. Temperature on so I can tell the story properly and not get my. Wow. Okay. Hang on.
Yes. So you can properly tell that story and give the details and not have to go on split screen with a blogger next morning as soon as this podcast is diffused. Someone saying, no, that's not the right temperature.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm in a field, a group of, I don't know, I'm going to call them either 16 or 17-year-old schoolgirls walk past, looking good, shorts on, long hair in the late afternoon, early autumnal sunshine. And I am in a field looking at the GPS on my phone, bending over trying to find something. And as they walked past the point, the girls' precise words were, I heard one say, well, I didn't do maths and physics, but I still went to CERN. I just wanted to go to Geneva. And then they walked off into the distance. And it took me maybe 2 minutes of like, CERN, that is a Large Hadron Collider. It is a particle accelerator. I know that these places deal with very cold temperatures. Now, I like my astronomy and my big physics. So I Googled it. And it says the first sector of CERN's Large Hadron Collider has to be cooled down to a temperature of 1.9 degree Kelvin. That's minus 271 degrees Celsius. That's colder than deep outer space. So these girls walked past where I was stood on one of the hottest days in September and spoke very audibly about one of the coldest places in the universe. What a win! What a win!
A definite win. That was a definite win. What, and the odds of it when you think about it, CERN. How many times do teenage girls talk about CERN? What I mean, that's not the principal subject of a teenage girl.
It's not the subject of anybody unless you work at CERN.
Yeah. Unless you work at CERN, or you're like in Geneva, and you know that CERN is just under your house.
Oh yeah.
Because it's CERN is such a big machine that they had to freeze underground lakes so they could dig through the ice, and it was less energy spending than emptying those underground lakes. That's how big of a machine it is, for those who don't know.
Oh, I need a bit of CERN action in my... Oh, my God. Have you seen the... Right, so CERN is 27 kilometres across. That's like... I've not got the details here to convert into imperial. But the future circular collider is going to be 100 kilometres across and encircle the whole of Geneva. Like, it's like twice the size.
They're building another one. Really?
Well, maybe. They've drawn a circle on a map. So...
okay. Oh, this is a bit. This boils my mind in so many different ways that we'll cover in another show.
I think we're going to have a lot of other shows to be covering. We'll cover that in another show special. So anyway, yeah. CERN is one of the coldest places in the universe. They're hopefully going to be building another monster mammoth circular particle collider. So to me, that was Rando at its best. It's when it gets other people involved that I love it most.
Yes. And maybe this time or next time I could tell you my end of that cold intent.
Oh, what happened?
I tried it too in the evening, and led me behind the Saint-Jean Bordeaux station. And I went there in my radius. I had only warm colors, cafes, McDonald's, kebabs, adult theme shops for not kids.
Hot. You got hot.
Nothing cold, not even something where you can buy ice creams. Everything hot, everything, even the colors, the lampadaires, the lampposts were yellow and white, and nothing cold. And to me, that was a win too, because it was the polar opposite.
The Monsieur, tell us about your fantastic sci-fi find.
Okay, with pleasure. Oh, okay. I will tell you my fantastic find. What I intended for the other day, it was 2:00 in the morning. I couldn't really sleep. I had just woken up half an hour ago. I couldn't really sleep. So at that point, I think, okay, it's the night time. I'm awake. Best time to do a UFO contact intent. So I drop a point. I go over there. As I leave my house, first thing I notice is that all the lamps outside, the street lamps, they are all off. So I'm not thinking much of it. It's over 2 in the morning, and sometimes in between 2 and 4 in the morning, just to save energy, they cut off all the lights. So I'm thinking, okay, not much. I get around my point, and I see this light. There's a light at somebody's place inside. When my eyes move quick around it, it was a white bulb. At that bulb, I see it. When I move around my eyes real quick, I see there's 3 bulbs in there. There was a green, red, and yellow, or blue. I can't remember exactly, but that doesn't really matter. When you move your eyes, you realize that it's the primary colors, RGB, yeah, that just made up that that light, that white light, that when you mix different colors, it gives you the white light. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, there's something about light. There's something about light. I move a bit. I'm searching for the point, and I see this singer, this French singer called Soprano. He has a tour coming up in 2022, and it's called The Star Chasers. So I look on the poster, and I see there's a spaceship. That is a spaceship. I have confirmed that in the shop. I saw the CD, and it is a spaceship. A star, 5-pointed star shaped spaceship. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, yeah, it has to do with the lights, night lights, the thing. And he was on stage on that poster. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh, okay, there's stage lights too. So it has something to do with the lights. I get to my point. I'm there at it. I stop my bike. I get off it. I'm filming around and I don't see much. There was a fence on my right, lampposts behind me. And I have this, for those who have seen it, I have this thing that I do when I'm filming. I put my hands just on my forehead. I'm filming down and it makes that eye shape that I affect so much. So that it's my thing. It's my logo. And I look at it and the way the lamps were illuminating me from behind, it made a very different shadow. And as I moved along, I'm filming it. I'm just tripping because I know that's my find. I know there were so many clues, all those lights, all the indication that it had something to do with the lights. I just knew that that was my thing. So I'm filming down and I look and I see the eyelid that is every time formed by my head was doing that reptilian eye shape. So I'm tripping. I'm thinking this is contact. To me, this is contact. This is alien contact. Alien just means otherworldly, like so different that it's not from here. It's not, obviously, it doesn't have to be the Greys or the Greys as in those Roswells that we know so much on the autopsy table. It's not that. It doesn't have to be that. I'm
just realizing that you're describing what is actually something very complex to understand. But if you saw the image of it, you go, oh yeah, sure. That's definitely a reptilian eye. It was a very clever effect from the LED bulb kind of filtering you and making you look shimmery. Now, because we're so entwined with each other, right, I completely reserve the right now to be able to judge your videos and get the messages from your videos too, right?
Oh, yeah. We can definitely. It's like we're like the same soul in two different bodies. It's very odd.
Yes.
Never happened before.
And your eye shape that went so weird and crocodilian and reptilian also really, really looked like a classic sci-fi flying saucer.
Oh, yes. I was completely skipping that part. It did that flying saucer, as you call it. Yeah, like a Foo Fighter. It looked like a Foo Fighter.
Yeah, not the one with Dave Grohl. Yeah, it was super cool and super. It's like Rando is starting to communicate with us now on a deep symbolic level, with semantics, with meaning, with multiple symbols at each find. Well, we're recording this on a Friday, and why are Fridays our new favorite day?
Because it's the WWJ day.
Yes,
the show is coming up. Watch with Josh.
Oh, it's such a good show. It is a great chance for us to bond with the Rando community in the YouTube chat room, and also just to immerse ourselves in the wonderful worlds of Josh and Derek, who we're just like fangirl and boy.
Oh, definitely starstruck. Whenever he retweets or something like that, I just love it. Yeah, I wouldn't miss it. I know a lot of people wouldn't miss it.
Yeah, I now revolve my whole Friday around Watch with Josh, and considering you're in the States, Josh, because I know you're listening.
Yes.
You put it on at a very civil time for us in the in different time zones. So thank you for that. So thank you so much for watching with Josh. We've got a couple of shout outs to do here to some of our more loyal followers who comment on your work especially and love your work especially.
Yes, definitely. I can give just a few from the top of my head. I'll start with Kiri. She really has. I know she has seen the videos and she takes interest in my work and in what we do. And I post the most YouTube videos. You're like the behind the scene mastermind of communication part.
Yeah, actually, but let me just say that. Well, not in my defense. Now, I make videos for a living on a daily basis anyway for clients.
Yeah.
And we haven't done too much Tangonaut stuff because I'm still reeling from the bird day thing and still finding my way back into Rando. Listen to the second episode called Rando's Little Helpers to find out that more. But there's definitely going to be more content, video content coming from me. So thank you, Kiri, for all of your wonderful analysis, and for Dex as well, the little black cat with the top hat.
Top hat, yes.
Top
Dexter. Just a newcomer, so to speak, Tara. Hello, Tara.
Tara.
I hope you go Rando. Tara, go Rando. I made her a special video just for her. It's like a 55 minute long video. I didn't do that on purpose, but she had her shout out with that. Tyler, 1799. Oh, he does. He has this cool, like, you're in the video when you're watching it. He just grabs his camera and goes along with it. So you're carried along for the ride.
That's so cool. And
it's really cool.
And I think we know that some of you can't get out or for various reasons. We will go out and Rando for you. And it's really good when somebody does that because the finds are fantastic. It's like being connected to a medium or something.
Definitely. You're like a human dicing rod without the rod or the dicing. It's just out there. That I don't understand my analogy right now, so don't worry, anybody.
Yeah, rod. I see that. Yeah. Okay. So that was it for now. These podcasts are going to be coming regular. We're going to say thank you very much for your time and listening to us. And do subscribe to the podcast because there's lots more of this to come because like basically this is just like the first day of the rest of our lives with Rando braided into it.
Definitely. And as Rando has that time component to it, it adds another layer. So thank you, Rando. Thank you, everybody. It's a pleasure.
Now,
yes.
This is a PS. And we're not going to speak too much about it, but a couple of days ago, we realized that Rando was giving us some pretty shitty signs for various reasons. And we realized it's because we may be focusing a little bit on the negative rather than the positive. I was complaining about my life and suddenly I realized that I needed to be doing law of attraction with Rando. And we'd been doing it for 2 days. And like, I'm not going to jinx it. I'm going to wait next week to reveal it. But it's looking like amazing things happen when you combine traditional classic law of attraction from Abraham Hicks, from Rhonda Byrne, from Joe Vitale, who are my gurus, with Rando. But that is a very evolving situation. And this time next week, I'd love to have some amazing news for you.
Definitely. And we will be continuing on all that we're doing. Rest assured, everybody, we will just continue, keep pushing it. So we can tell you what happened a week from now.
Yeah. Oh, and send us some ideas and let us know if we can Rando for you. And we love you all so much and see you soon, Randonauts. Rando safe and mindfully, you amazing humans.
Yeah, we love you. And Rando knows where all of this will go.
Oh, no, there's a lovely little French word that you say at the end, of calls. What is that?
Ah, moi, bisous tout le monde, on vous aime, on pense à vous, on va aller faire du rando, pardon, et puis on se voit la prochaine fois.
Oh, I miss your French. Yeah, bisous, that means kisses. I've picked up one French word. Okay, bisous.
Bisous.
Tangonauts. Woohoo! The happy podcast for people who love Randonautica. Come together, yeah. Please give us a share. This podcast is in no way affiliated with the amazing team at Randonautica. We're just two people who love Rando very much. And if you love Rando, please consider going pro. Or at least just purchase a couple of owl tokens. That was an absolute bugger to edit, but still, at least I've learned how to make a whole podcast on brand new software.